Hello, hello. Welcome to Mindset to Results. And today we have amazing guest Stacy Swiderski. She is the woman who is in business since she was 19 and of course having built a successful business and supporting so many business owners and entrepreneurs, she's here to share with us so many insights. Stacy is the founder and CEO of FamilySource Consultants. And also, she is the host of the podcast She Decides. And she also is publishing her first book, and we will know about it soon. And the title of the book is title of the book is Purpose Driven Success. And we are here to learn so much from Stacy and from her experience. Hi, Stacy.
Hi, thank you for having me.
You're most welcome. Thank you so much for being guest on our podcast and sharing your life experience and knowledge with our audience.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited. I'm excited to speak with everybody.
Yeah, I just found out that you started business when you were 19. Tell us a little bit about you. How did you find your passion at such an early age?
Well, I've been in business now for almost 19 years. So I started the business, it was not 19 years of age, but I've been in business for 19 years. So my company has been growing consistently now since 2007. And it really stemmed from a personal experience as my husband and we grew our family through gestational surrogacy. Our son was born in 2005, so 20 years ago, and that really is what sparked my interest is was really from a purpose, again, just kind of like my book, purpose driven. And so yeah, started the agency back in 2007, and here we'll be celebrating 19 years in January.
19 years, such a huge, huge experience. How do you connect, from your experience, how do you connect success and purpose, success and mission?
Yeah, that's a really great question, and it's really right up my alley. So, I will break it into two. So, success really for me, it's not just the financial aspect, right? Yeah, success is you have to have financials to keep your company going strong and growing. But success was also just a really piece of accomplishment for me. We have helped well over 1,400 babies enter the world through third-party reproduction since 2007. So success really was just completing the mission of helping build families as they've come to us for many various of reasons where they needed help with either a surrogate or an egg donor, or many times they need both. And so, again, the success for me was being able to complete my vision to help another couple or individual build their family.
Yeah, such amazing mission. How did you find this area for your business, like this specific industry? How did
Yeah.
you find that it is your purpose?
Yeah, that was a great question as well. When I built my family through surrogacy back in 2005, there were very few agencies, like FamilySource Consultants that I felt were adequate to help me and my husband build our family. And luckily, I live in outside of Chicago, so here in Illinois, and the surrogacy laws in Illinois were very favorable. And so I knew that after completing my journey, this was an area of expertise that I knew that I could really help other people, whether it's individuals or couples, build their family. And so I just went for it and started the business, and it has just been thriving. One in 4 to 6 individuals they experience infertility. So it's definitely an area of the projected growth that I've seen, obviously in the world, and we help families not just here in the United States, but also internationally. So it's really a large volume of people that really need the resources that a company like mine can help them with. So, and it has not slowed down since I started the company almost 19 years ago. So it's been, a great honor to have so many surrogates and intended parents and egg donors really put their trust into Family Source Consultants to really help complete their mission as well.
Yes, it should feel so great when you know that because of part of your also input, yes, the lives, the you help new children to come and to see life. It is like
It's been
you
beautiful.
are
Yeah,
part of this like lives. So many children. Yes, it is really such a fulfilling, so
very
fulfilling
fulfilling.
mission.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
definitely an inspiration. And
Mhm.
so going back to your success question, that, I feel successful in so many ways and also very blessed again that my company has been able to really bring dreams and miracles together, which is actually our slogan. It's our motto, bringing dreams and miracles together. And that's what we do every day. And, we're at the point now, again, we've been building families for almost 19 years. And so we are seeing little miracles born all the time now through our agency. And it's been amazing. I have an amazing team that obviously without them, I couldn't do what I do. So I'm very blessed in many, many ways.
Yes, I think that people invite you for their babies' birthdays.
We do, yes. We have thousands of connections where we stay in touch with many of our, former intended parents, and it's wonderful when they share with us, their child's photos through the years
Mhm.
and milestones, and we have now some that are graduating high school, and so it's just been really wonderful and very touching. And again, I feel very blessed to be able to be a part of their journey.
Yes, amazing. Have you ever thought about organizing events where people come with their children for a certain age and
Yes, yes, we have had over the years family building events where we have celebrations of bringing the families that we've helped and the surrogates as well that have helped them, and we've had picnics, we've had just organized events that have been just really successful as well, and just given even our staff, the team, an opportunity to really see these journeys come to fruition, and be able to see the little children running around. We've had events at parks even where it's just been very low key, and it's been great. It's been great.
yes, amazing. So let's now speak about the ingredients of success, what you found out from your journey. As you
Yeah.
mentioned, that first one was demand. Yes, you saw what is the demand in the market. What is something that you would love to do, which people also are looking for? Yes.
Right.
The second one was that you were related to that yourself. And the third one was that you became passionate about this idea. Yes, you really love what you do. So this is like three ingredients. Yeah, love what you do, find what is in demand, and become passion or passion, yeah, about that. So what else? What other ingredients did you discover for
Yeah,
success?
definitely. Well, to touch on those three ingredients, I think it's important that you do want to ensure that there is a demand, right? So if you're starting a
Mm.
company, as an entrepreneur, um, some people may think they have an amazing idea, and I think it's great to try it, right? Certainly, but you want to test the waters, make sure that it is going to be profitable. It has to be sustainable. So yeah, ensuring that there's a demand for it, of course. And then, of course, the passion behind it, because obviously, I think many people have passions in life, and they would love to start a company. And I think it's wonderful. I mean, 2025, no better time to start your own company, right? Your own organization, especially for women. I'm a very large supporter of women-owned businesses, and you're seeing those on the rise, and so certainly I'm a very large supporter of that. But also, you have to know as well as business. You have to have a little bit of business sense there, right? But I think too is most importantly that I have really found over the almost 19 years is surrounding yourself around the people that really are going to help support yourself as well as the business. So you need A players on your team. Whether it's just, yourself and you're starting out, you have to be driven. It's a drive. Starting a business, you can't just do it laxadatively and think it's just going to blow up and to be successful, right? I think now you see so many messages on social media, Instagram or TikTok is just, let me help you build your family, or I'm sorry, your grow your company or whatever it may be. And it's just so quick just to do it like this. And it's not. You have to put a lot of work into your business.
Mm.
And you have to have that drive. But when you get to you get to a point where you can start hiring a team, you really have to be selective on who you hire to ensure that you have A players. And then when you get to that point, it's so important. It's essential that you delegate because you really have to work, on the company, not so much just in the company. If you delegate, you hire somebody for a certain position, don't micromanage, ensure that they are capable, supported, and let them run it. Let them do what they were hired to do. So you can continue to scale and grow your company. So I think that's obviously really important. And that's something that I personally did not start doing right away. I was hands-on everything. I would hire a team and I was constantly, checking the boxes, ensuring that, they're I'm helping them do their job and they're like, hey, I got this. I can do it. Right. So it took me some time as a business owner to really 100% give them the leeway to do their job. And but again, it's about having the right people on your team. And once you do, it just frees your space to really work on the company. And that has really been the success ingredients for my company to really scale.
Yeah, I think it resonates with many people what you just shared, that having that controller, saboteur, yes,
Yeah,
which
you have to. Yeah, you can't micromanage like that. Absolutely not.
Mm.
Of course you want to support and you want to check in, but you have to let your team do what they're hired to do. And many of the times they're a lot better at that than what you are, whatever that role may be. So as long as your vision is always being followed, and uh and the team knows what your vision is, that's important, obviously. Let them run with it, let them do their job, and you will see the company really start to take off. Having those processes in place, right, and structures. But yeah, that's really for me the successful ingredients that help really scale my company over the years.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. And you mentioned that it is very important to find right people, to choose right people. So what is maybe you share with us, what is the most important for you when you hire people to work with you?
Yeah, that's a really great, oh goodness, great question. Loyalty is important, right? But a lot of times you don't know who you're hiring. You're going through the interview process, they're answering all the questions the right way. I don't, I'm not really focused on degrees or education so much. It's really, I ask them, it's about are they relatable? Are they compassionate people? That's important. And are they driven? That's really important to me. Are they driven in, their role in life? And just being a kind person. I think that at the core of it is so important is kindness. Realistically. So even as a leader, it's so important to treat your people with kindness, respect, and you in turn will receive the same. But yeah, definitely the drive when you are interviewing, these applicants, and what is their what are their long-term goals? I think that's important as well.
Yes, I totally agree with you that when people are driven and they have big goals and they can see how helping company to achieve company goals and how they can also achieve their goals, like relate themselves, yes, like success, personal and in business, and also
Right,
attitude. Yes, attitude
right.
that to be driven and to really have right attitude because people can learn skills and different things when they
Yes.
to work. Yes, but if they have a negative attitude, it will be very like
You
toxic.
can't change
Yeah.
somebody's personality, right? Or their attitude. Like, yeah, surrounding yourself around positive, like-minded people is crucial to success. Absolutely. You want somebody who, really can look at an issue that may come up and really think outside the box and just be, motivational and positive and just be, proactive. Those are the signs of, you're hiring somebody with those great skill sets that you're going to move that needle and they're going to help your company grow. That's really important because there's so many, skill sets that yes, those can be taught, but personality and attitude, nah, that's something that, it really can't be taught. That's within them, and you can't really change that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, so good. And when people come to work as you started, what did you find, like what helped them to become really team? Because in some companies they have competition and they want to prove that they are better and they can do better.
Yeah.
So I can assume that your company, as you hire people with great attitude, positive, like driven. So how you help them really to become creative team instead of competing or instead of just being a group of people, but really be creative and be team.
Yeah, I think that really goes back to, really organized training, ensuring that, when you have somebody that is new in your team, ensuring that they have, top-notch training, so that they're not left in the dark, right? You want to ensure that they have a great experience with the onboarding, very important. But overall, it really stems from leadership. The leadership team on down is treating their team with the utmost respect and kindness, and ensuring that everybody is really feeling valued. And that is, that's the key to success is treating people with kindness. And when they feel that and they feel that they are part of a team, they're going to want to give more. And so that's, that is really an aspect here at my company that it starts at the top. The culture has to be a very, positive culture to ensure that everybody, it doesn't matter what role they're in, it could be a chief, our chief business officer, or it could be, somebody from, the records collection or intake or, our matching specialist. But everybody feels extremely valued and they know the expectations of their job and we allow them to do it, right? We give them the flexibility, we give them the runway to really do a great job and it makes them feel better that they are they're completing their task. They know the vision. They know what the role entails because they've had such a positive onboarding and training. And we really hone into that from the very beginning when we have somebody that's hired. And it goes a long way. It goes a long way. But again, stems from leadership on down to ensure that you have a really great, positive, respectful culture. And that really, at the end of the day, it allows each team member to feel valued. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's really not difficult. It's really not difficult. As a leader, you have to kind of switch hats because your team, the way I think about it, they're not working for me. I feel like I'm working for them. I'm working to make sure that they feel uplifted and feel, that they are supported and that, whatever they need, we want to ensure that my organization is giving to them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Yes, so, so beautiful, really. Yes, it is comes from uh, leadership which is to serve. Yes, like based on what you just shared, is just serve-based leadership. When
Have to serve. Yeah.
yes, like we when people live for purpose, it makes such a big difference. Yes, and when I speak to you, it just really so beautiful that you create this environment for people to feel good, to be creative, to support each other, to grow together. Yes, and yeah,
So important. I
yeah.
mean, we spend so many hours of our weeks, our months, our life
Mhm.
working, right? So
Mhm.
we want to create an environment to where, my team wakes up every day and they're excited to come to work. They're excited to, really help build the families that, they're serving every day. And it's tough work. It is not easy. So, you know, a lot of times the norm is, oh my goodness, you have a dream job. You get to help people, build their family through surrogacy and egg donation. It's beautiful. And oh, it's got to be so, just so wonderful. And yes, it is wonderful, but it is a lot of work. You are really you're communicating with our intended parents who are under intense stress, and financially it's they have to be able to afford the process, and it's not easy. And then you have surrogates who are so much responsibility is falling on their shoulders to help these families build their bring their babies into the world. And then you have the egg donor piece that also is very a lot of responsibility. So my team, they're so incredible at being able to handle these situations, and they're lovely. They do the support that they're able to give to our clients and our surrogates and our egg donors is really top notch. And yeah, and it really, like I said, I think that really stems from having a very positive and supportive culture, work culture, professional culture that they feel that they can really thrive in. So you have a team and a staff that really feels that support, they're going to pass that on to our clients. And so, like I said, it really starts at the top and works that way. It works its way right through into the clients.
Yes, amazing. Yes, and you're like a live creating laboratory. Yes, you.
It really is, and I will say too, we surround ourselves, my organization, around the utmost best professionals in the industry. So from the fertility centers to the mental health specialists, to the attorneys that really thrive and specialize in third-party reproduction. So we have the support outside as well, to ensure that we are really doing a phenomenal job. And there's so much that's out of our hands too, right? We're facilitating these family building journeys from start to finish, and then even afterwards. And to be able to have that outside support is crucial. So yeah, that's just been part of growing the company, really leaning in and learning and being educated by these professionals through the years. And it's a forever changing too, very fast um, field, to where there's changes that, we have to always ensure that we are always in the know. We know exactly, what are the best states to, for an intended parent, for example, to match with a surrogate, or surrounding those surrogacy laws. So again, this is something, it took many years of, just building the business, and just being the one of the go-to organizations for family building.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. So yeah, so great and fulfilling mission you have.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
so
It is
many.
very
Yeah,
fulfilling for sure.
yeah, I can imagine that beautiful environment which you created. Yes, and tell us a little bit about your book. What was behind that decision to
Yeah.
write the book?
Yeah, I'm really excited for my book to launch, Purpose Driven Success. And it really stems from the very beginning of me starting my company. So almost, like I said, 19 years ago. And it's a very honest, authoritative book, to where I feel that anybody who is looking to either launch a company, or maybe they just feel like they're stuck in the wheels of their company, and they're just not seeing the scaling aspect, to get their hands on. And it just really outlines really the purpose-driven success that I have had. And I mean, we discuss in there, staff, just the outside world of business, all the business pieces that a lot of people don't really think about until they start their business. And then they're in the weeds and they're just like, oh my goodness. So yeah, definitely it's a book that's really centered around all things, especially when it's a purpose-driven book. Again, I started my company was purpose-driven, right? I built my family through surrogacy, and so I had that aspect to really hone into when I was starting my company. However, there's more to business than just personally going through, the process. Yes, it's been an enormous backbone to be an intended parent myself and to really be in the shoes of an intended parent, but really surrounding my book um, around the business aspects of a purpose-driven organization. I'm really excited. It's beautifully written and very easy to read. I have, a lot of stats in there as well, and so yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be launched here pretty soon, in about 4 to 5 weeks, and I will, you'll be able to add those links to our episode, and people can enjoy it. But I really think it's going to be helpful for the audience for sure.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
yeah, and I touched in the book as well. Like I said, my company, we help individuals and couples through surrogacy and egg donation. As an intended parent who has, I built my family, like I said, through surrogacy. On the flip side of that, I was also an egg donor. So I've been on both sides of the process where I've needed help growing my family through a gestational carrier. But I also was an egg donor for a couple, yeah, and twice, and that resulted in their son and their daughter being born, and now they're teenagers, so many years ago. But I've been again, it's the situation to where it's kind of unique, where I've really been on both sides
Mhm.
of the opportunity to help somebody build their family, and also I've needed that help. So that also is weaved into the to my book as well.
Yes, amazing. And also, you mentioned that there are different stages of businesses, and you could grow your company through 19 years. And we know that most of companies just um, end even before 2, 3 years.
Right. Yeah. You see that the statistics, unfortunately, are not
Yes,
that
it is.
great for new companies.
Yeah,
Right.
I think more than 80%. I
It's
think.
pretty high.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's upwards towards 70, 75%. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. So, what you would suggest people who start companies? Yeah, because as we discussed that when they purpose driven, so they have that big vision. Yeah. So, big vision. It is important to keep going. Yes, when there can be
Yes.
ups and downs.
Yeah, definitely. I always advise, when you feel that if somebody feels that there's a need for the business, whether it's a product or a service, um, get started. You don't wait for the perfect time to do it, because when is there ever a perfect time, right? And a lot of times you're going to learn as you go. But surround yourself around people who are successful. Find yourself a mentor that has already accomplished, a thriving business. I think mentorship is so important. Um, and again, but to really hone in onto the why to start a company, whatever, like I said, whether it's a product or a service, just to, dabble and make sure that there's a need for it. And if there is, and you feel like there is, jump in and just start it. Listen to podcasts, business podcasts, pick up books that can help you. And then, like I said, surround yourself around those, really those business driven people. Find yourself a mentor, and, it's a lot of work. So, it's not just a matter of, oh, here's a playbook, read it, and you know how to start a business, and it's just going to help do it for you, right? You have to put in the time. It's a lot of work. But if you have that vision in mind, just go for it. And yeah, and people are going to screw up along the way, right? But you learn from your mistakes, and don't give up. Don't give up and just keep pushing forward. Again, you want to make sure that there's a need for it. But even if there's another business like yours, if there's a need for it, who cares? There's enough space in this world to really start your company, and just go for it. That's really my advice to anybody out there who's looking to start a company.
Yes, and as you said that just start, don't plan to plan. Yes, because
No, no, you have to be productive. Yeah, be productive with your time. I think it's so important where, I hear it a lot. People are like, oh my goodness, I'm so busy. I'm so busy. And they thrive on that word, being busy. We can all be busy, but to be productive is different. You have to be productive. Really put time blocks. Make sure that, for me and myself, if I have something that I want to launch or something I'm working on, it's a project or a process or a system, and it's something that can be done fairly quickly, I will give myself maybe a day and a half. And whether I'm relying on a team member or an outside source or myself, I want to check that box that, that goal in mind, whether it's a day and a half or 2 days, it's done. You have to move. You have to push, those roadblocks out of the way. You have to be productive. So you can't just be busy. That's not going to pay the bills. That's not going to grow your company. You have to be productive. And in order to do that, you have to again protect your time. That's important. Protect your time, and surround yourself around the people who are going to support that.
yes, and also protect your energy. Yes, also is important. Yes, to
Yes,
that.
absolutely. Take care of yourself too. Take care of yourself. Make sure you're eating, make sure you're exercising, make sure that you are, whatever it is that you can collect your thoughts. But, I mean, I will be the first to admit there's times that, in the early days of starting my company and, I've worked around the clock. I've had to work around the clock. Many times people have young children or they have maybe they have another job and don't quit your job. If you need those resources, that income, you're going to be building your company many times on the side. Um, but, and you got to find ways to cut costs, whatever you can do to, get your business off the ground. But it takes a lot of work. And, for me, and I have a lot of people that, collectively they think, oh, I don't know, you have to have a work-life balance. And I don't know. I think your work-life balance, and this is me, selectively saying that maybe this don't work for everybody. I'm not a big fan of the work-life balance, right? I mean, you have to prioritize what it is that you are working on at that time or what you're focused on. If you are, working on your company, um, that is your priority at the moment, right? If you are, for 5 hours a day and then your children come home and as long as you're giving you're really devoted to whatever that is happening, your family, your new company that you're starting, that really is that becomes priority. So work-life balance, I'm not as an entrepreneur, as a founder, as an owner, I don't think that really fits into my schedule. I prioritize what I need to prioritize at the moment. And oftentimes it's working many hours, or it's, ensuring that I'm there for my granddaughter's school play or whatever it may be. I prioritize that. So I think it's important for people not to feel the guilt as well,
Mhm.
because you are going to have to put your time into starting your business in order for it to be successful. And as it's starting, you're going to put time into growing your business, and ensuring that you're doing everything and what you kind of control to make sure that it is thriving. And then for that, you have to be productive, not just busy.
Yes, I am totally agree with you. I believe that there is no life work balance because
Yeah,
that
I
depends
don't
what
know if that's just
priorities.
overused
Yes.
or what. You hear it all the time, but I'm thinking, I don't know. Find me somebody who has this perfect work-life balance, who owns a company, or is, or not even an owner, but they are just, they have a career that is very driven and very important. I don't know if there's really that work-life balance. So find me that one person and then maybe I'll believe it. But right now I haven't found that person yet.
Yeah, you're totally right. And also, as you mentioned, yeah, it is, I think, very important to focus on one task at a time. Yes, as you said, like if you work, you focus on working. When you
Yeah.
with children, you focus with children. So you are totally present what you do, and
You're
this is,
present in that moment.
yeah, and this is what will give you that effectiveness, productiveness, because you will focus all your mind and on one thing, and this is what will make it, make it the best, instead of being in the office and thinking about children, or sitting with children on the beach and thinking about office. So anyway, they will not feel your presence even if you're physically with them, but they ask you and you just say, oh, yes, yes, and your mind is somewhere
And then
else.
you think, I don't even know what they just asked me because I'm
Yeah, then
focused.
you don't know even what they asked
Yeah,
you, but you
right, right, right.
automatically just knock your head. Yes, it
Yes,
also happened.
yes,
It was
yes. So
with
be
me before.
present.
Why I am telling this, because this is
Yeah. So you've experienced it
sometimes I
yourself,
was
right?
just, yes, they just, I was like, yes, yes, and they asked me like two times, could ask me two times or three times,
Like, oh
and
my
I
gosh, I'm
was,
surprised she's allowing this.
yeah, and I will just say yes. And they ask me question that they want me to answer, and I'm in other thoughts. I said yes, like, and it was many times. And then they said, well, like, what is going on? Like,
What did I just allow?
yeah.
What did I just agree to? Yeah.
Yeah, so it is really like changing this from when people start their own business and they don't know what is this going on, because on the surface everything looks so bright, people successful, you just do this and do that and you will be successful. This is what almost all people speak from what we see, right? YouTube or different social
Right.
media. But when it really comes to do that, it is totally different world. Yes, and this is how reality starts to be different from what people thought success is. Yeah, and also I think that in definition of success, it is really important, as you said, that success is not about money. Success is about something big that you can create, and this feeling that you are creator, that you create something that doesn't exist, or even if it exists, you create something in different level, and that
Right.
what gives really the drive and fulfillment. For me, success is always with fulfillment. It is not
Absolutely.
about,
Happiness, fulfillment.
yeah,
Yes. Being,
yes,
being fulfilled. Yes.
definiteness of purpose, yes, but you know exactly what you want, and you don't accept anything less. Like you have
Right.
a clear picture. I want this. This is my standards. This is where I go, and you just go for that. You don't go up like left and right. You know exactly. And when people see this, they confidence, and when they know that you know what you want, this is how it becomes easy to work with you.
Absolutely. And, remaining focused is, remaining focused on your right, on your company or your business, whatever it is that you are, really trying to accomplish, being focused. And then, like I said, at the end of the day, you have to be productive, um, not just busy. You have to be productive. You
Yes.
have to,
Mhm. Yes, and productive it is when we set the time, as you said, also mentioned, right?
that's
Like
right.
you set what you want to do and set the deadline, set the time. Otherwise, many people fell into that perfectionism and they want to improve and improve and improve
Oh
and
my goodness.
fail.
Yes. Yes. The
Yes.
perfection is like you got to give up everything being absolutely perfect. Yes, it's great when something works out and it's like, oh my gosh, I couldn't have done it any better. It's perfect.
Mhm.
But in order to complete complete the task at hand and be productive, that is what is key, right? I mean, and that's why, like I said, when you're able to, if you're starting a company, you get to the point where maybe you can hire somebody and then you continue to hire. Like I said, delegation is key. Ensure that you're delegating because you have to, as an owner, you have to be working on the business. You can't be in the weeds, you have to be working on it to ensure that, obviously your vision is being followed and the growth is happening and anything that needs to be tweaked that maybe you can improve here and there, you got to be able to really count on your team to ensure that that's done for sure. But yeah, definitely you don't want to, you say you're going to do it, do it. Don't say you're going to do it for weeks and weeks and weeks and months and months and months and it never gets done. If you say you're going to do it, whether it's something you can do in an hour or something you can do in 2 days or something you can do in a week, get it done. And you continue to do that with each and every process of your business, you are going to ultimately see your business scaling. Especially, again, like I said, you want to make sure that there's a need, for whether the product or the service. And that's, why you would start a business. But if you continue just to be productive and um, put in the work, and oftentimes that work is, it's not a 9 to 5 job. It could be once you put the kids to bed, you are now focused on what you need to do. Whether you're working at 2 till 2, 3, 4 in the morning, you need to have that focus. You need to, uninterrupted time to work on the company. Super important.
Yes, and one more question here. I think it is good to discuss about fear and fear of failure and attitude to failure. Yes, what is your what is your experience about that? Like, what
Oh,
how?
absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think it's just human nature to have that fear of failing, but I think it's okay to learn there's a difference between making mistakes and learning from those mistakes and failing, right? So, I mean, I've made so many mistakes along the years, almost 2 decades of, growing my company but that's how you learn from it. So I think removing the outside noises, again, ensuring that your people, whether it's your staff, it's your family, your friends, or whoever it is, you're going to notice as you are growing your company, you're starting a company, that circle may start becoming smaller and smaller. And that's okay because you want to surround yourself around those people who are going to support you, positive people, right? Um, and so to have that sense of failure, it's okay. You may fail at something, but like I said, as long as you are picking up the pieces and you just start again and just keep learning from your mistakes, you're going to continue to grow your company. Again, that fear of failure, I would think humans, we all have it, right? But you have to overcome that. You have to overcome it. You have to expect that you're going to have hard days. You're going to have tough situations. You're going to be uncomfortable in situations. You're going to be really, really nervous in some situations. Maybe you have to go speak in front of a board or in front of an audience, or you have to do something outside of your comfort zone. That's a good thing. That's healthy. That is how you learn. You learn and you grow when you are doing things that are new to you and outside of your comfort zone. And once you start to achieve these, every single accomplishment, that fear of failure is going to start to diminish. And you're going to think, wow, I've accomplished all these things. What's next? Now I'm ready for it, right? It just builds you to be a stronger person, business owner, entrepreneur. But yeah, it's okay to have that fear of failure, but you're going to soon see that start to kind of diminish. And but you got to keep your circle positive.
Yes, you have to be bold. Yes, you have to be bold and
Have to
step
be
into
bold.
unknown. This is only the way how
Absolutely.
you will grow. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because if the goal doesn't scare you, it means that goal is not big enough, and it is not even right goal because it's just something that you already know, and it means that you will not grow.
Right.
So choose the goals which scare you from one side and excite you from another side. So if you have fear, it means that this is okay. It means that you
Having fear is a good
excited.
thing. That means, yes, that means it's a challenge. That means you
Yeah.
have to figure it out and you are going to learn new skill sets. Um, and just internally, you're building these credentials within that really that's what's being an entrepreneur is all about. You're learning the right processes, what to do. You're going to fail many a times, but you're going to learn from it. But yeah, definitely, those goals, if goals were so easy in life, everybody would achieve them, right? It'd be like, oh, that was easy. That was easy. But no, I mean, and there wouldn't be so many failures at business, right? Like I said, so many companies start, and unfortunately, after 2 to 3 years, you see them, close up. But you gotta put in the work. It's not easy. It's not just a matter of, oh, put this code in on an Instagram post and let me send over you the pamphlet, and this is how you grow your business. Yeah. Well, you can envision it and you can, manifest it, but if you're not putting in the work, it's not going to happen. So, yeah, you have to be productive with your time.
Yes, and what will make you be excited and purpose driven is to have big goal. Yes, to have that
Yes.
big goal. And when it is big and you see yourself there, you can already imagine this. This will give you that fuel to stay keeping to going. Yes, to keep going. Because
That's
if the goal
absolutely
is
right.
small, yeah, if the goal is small, it will not excite you. Okay, it doesn't much mean much. So any challenge you meet, you will quit because that goal is not big enough to give you that
Right.
enthusiasm. Yes, so
Set
it is
those
so.
goals high. Make them seem like they're just wow. And like you said, envision yourself being there. Envision yourself that really happening in your life. And then every day you chop at it to make that realistic. And you just be productive to get there. But yeah, it's those goals you want to make sure that wow, they almost seem impossible, but I know they're possible. They're tangible. Like I can do it.
Mhm.
I don't know how, but I'm going to figure it out and I'm going to be productive. And every day I'm going to chip away at it and I'm going to make this goal a reality. And yeah, and be true to yourself and be good to yourself, be kind to yourself. It's a lot of work and those goals are, it may take you some time to reach them, but if you are seeing, you're progressing all the time, you're doing something right.
Yes, and very important to believe that it is possible, even if you don't know how, because you don't
That's
need
right.
to know how in the beginning. You have to just take first step,
You have to
and
start.
then you will take another first step. So every time, like taking first step closer, this is how the next level door will open. Then you come to the door,
Yeah,
that will be new door. So you never know how. Even it is like when you are here and you look at the horizon, you just can see to some point, but when you move forward, you will open more field view, right?
that's
So
right.
exactly like that.
And you don't know what the next day is going to bring, right? So you may
Yeah.
think, oh my gosh, I feel like giving up, but I guess I'll just contact this person. That one person can change your life. You just don't know.
Mhm.
Whatever it may be. If, like I said, if you have a product or a service or whatever it is, you just don't know. So that's why I said surround yourself around those people. Find yourself a great mentor. Um, but it may take you a lot of phone calls to figure something out, but it may be that last phone call. It was like, wow, that just gave me an idea how I can accomplish this and how I can move towards my goals, and to just really reach that biggest goal that I never thought was possible. And then it's giving you energy to where you can say, all right, I did that. I accomplished this. Now I can move on to the next step, right? So again, that's where being productive. You have a lot of emotions going in it all at once, right? You're trying to really build your dream life. But just know it is capable. It's you can do it. You can do it, but you gotta make sure that you are again not giving up. You're starting before you're ready. It's okay. If it's something that you constantly like, I want to do this. I want to start this company. I want to be whatever it is, but I just don't know how to do it all. You don't have to know how to do it all. You just need to start. Yeah. And
Yes. And if you don't quit, you will succeed. Yes.
that's right. That's right. I've never seen anybody succeed that quit, right? So you definitely have to just keep moving strong. Again, you're gonna fall flat on your face many a times, but you have to just get back up and just go at it again. And it's all right, like I said. And it's never too late. If you're in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, 70s, whatever it is, like it's never too late. We have these tools now, that we didn't even have back in the day, I mean, between AI and my goodness, just being so, everything is the technology that we have. I wish I had this back when I started my company, almost 20 years ago. But you know what? It's okay because I worked with what I had and I was successful. And now it just creates even more excitement for me to even continue to grow, continue to scale. I always want to find ways to how can we do better? How can we do more? And so, that mindset, and not everybody has that. Not everybody has an entrepreneurial mindset, and that's okay. Some people, maybe they want to go to their 9 to 5 job, and that is their success, that is their happiness, and that's perfect. And that works for them. So I think as long as you are, again, at the end of the day, if you want to grow something, you want to build a company, you have that big vision, you can do it, but you have to make sure that you are willing to work. And again, you are surrounding yourself from people who are negative. Anybody who's not, get them out of your life. I don't care if that's a friend, neighbor, family, whoever it is, if they are not supportive, remove them from your daily, like just your daily mindset to where don't let anybody tell you you can't do something.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
important.
great. And the last ingredient comes from the name of your podcast. She decides. And this is
Yes,
decision. I believe that decision is also so important for entrepreneurs for success because everything starts with decision. If person doesn't make decision, he doesn't need anything, right? Because he didn't make decision first.
that's
And
right.
on the contrary, when we make decision, this is how everything starts happening because we're already there and we start thinking from the place where we already decided. Yes, so
That's right.
yes, so would you like to share your perception about this?
Yeah, absolutely. So I launched the podcast. It's fairly new, January of this year, and it has been so well received. And I've had amazing guests on our podcast, and really the real purpose behind the podcast is to ensure that all women have a platform where they are starting a company, they're starting their business, or they are whatever it is they want to do, that they at the end of the day are their own reason to do that. It's so important that they are the ones who they decide what they want to do in life, right? No matter what it is. You want to have children, and you want to grow your family while you are building a company, you can do that, right? You don't want to have children. That's okay too. You don't have to do that either, right? So I think at the end of the day, it's really just a message that she decides to do what really makes her whole, feels that happiness inside. And also, many of the guests on the podcast, they share what it's like to start their company. So it's not just about what they do within their company. It's like the support that they had, or maybe the support they didn't have, how they jumped through the hoops to make their company a success. And I think it's been so inspirational and helpful for those listeners who are at the cusps of, I really want to do this, but I'm scared, or I don't have the right resources. And so hearing our guests share their stories of how they've really evolved and grew their company, it's been very helpful for the listeners to realize that they're not alone, and that there are so many other women who have also been in their shoes, and they have reached their success, and still are creating and building and growing, and how they're doing that. But I think all in all, the message that our guests on the podcast, they always leave behind the message of don't ever give up. Don't give up. And this is why, and so yeah, she decides really just came to me after many, many, many years of being in business, and many a times being the only woman in the room. And you feel maybe a little bit different, or maybe you're treated a little bit different, or we don't have all the resources along the way. And so yeah, it's she decides really was again, that was kind of also a selfish reason for me to start it, because what I felt along the way. And now I wanted to open up the doors to all the women in the world, that whatever you decide in life is up to you, and be your own reason for your accomplishments and whatever it is you want to do. And so yeah, it's been received so highly, and I'm excited for so much more to come um, from the podcast. So she decides is at its infancy stages, and it's we're gonna do big things, and I'm excited for that.
Yes, thank you so much, Stacy, for this amazing episode which we discussed this topic. I'm sure that people who listen to us will learn so much from you, from your experience. And of course, thank you for your decision that you decided to trust yourself 19 years ago, to go through this, to see what you can do for so many new lives to come. So it is really such a great example for women who come to your podcast, yes, and they can learn so much from them, and for giving them that space and platform where they can share their stories. I'm sure it is amazing podcast, and we will also mention the link in the description to this episode, so more people can learn about that and also
Wonderful.
learn from those stories.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. This is a lot of fun. Anytime I can, share my experience to help another person have that platform, I love it. So I really appreciate you having me on your podcast. You've been wonderful, and I look forward to, learning more from your podcast as well. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Stacy, so much, and we're looking forward to see you again in our future episodes sometimes.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Have a great day.